Hey everybody, clearing. All right, this is going to be a divine masculine check-in. We're going to dive into what would your divine masculine say if they could say anything right now, no filter, no fear. What would they say and why? And then also what will happen next based on what they're saying. What would the next steps be, and advice for you divine feminines. All right, so thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What can we see for the Divine Masculines in the collective that joins me here? What would they say to their Divine Feminine? And why? What can we see about the next steps regarding what the masculines are sharing here, and advice based on what we're seeing for the divine feminines. Just a couple more decks. What's coming next from the After Tarot here, and advice. Okay, let's have a look. What would they say about the connection right now? Light in the inverse. All right. I'm getting two things. They don't quite have all the answers, and it's like once the light switch is turned on in this connection, it's never going to be the same again. That's what I just heard. So why? Yeah, they're giving to themselves so they can give to you, feminines. This is what they're doing. They're leaning towards finding the light within them so they can match your frequency. Wow. This is the card of equal give and take. They know they haven't been able to do this connection justice or give you what you've deserved because they have been in a different frequency. It's all about self-love. Knight of Cups turned inwards is them loving themselves, really looking at their worthiness, really understanding what would it take to be someone for you that is of high frequency. What's going to happen in the immediate future because of this? Ooh, King of Swords. So they are making some major decisions. I heard to make some major cuts, cut certain things out. This is my spiritual falconry card, and this king is setting the intention to find things in their lives, gender how it resonates, that are not of high frequency. This is the bottom line. So this is, I'm hearing addictions. This is people, places, things, thought patterns, actions, things that they have been giving to that are not of the light. Quite literally, they've got to go. What's the advice for the feminines here? Keep doing the inner work. I just heard it's working. You are becoming a match for each other. It is a tandem effort. So sometimes we think what we do for self, we do for other, but it's not you doing it on behalf of your counterpart. It is you doing it to match your counterpart. You're not making them do the work. When two people are aligned, they both do the work simultaneously, but not because one is puppeteering the other one or not. It's because of the love, not because somebody's doing the thing and the other person is doing it like a puppet. Awesome. What would the masculine say about their counterpart? Now is not the time, but it's in the inverse. Oh. I just heard that these masculines are playing the what if game. What if now was the time? That's helping them kick into gear with the sort of things that would need to be gone toot sweet if it was the time. They're absolutely being shown if it was go time right now, would they be ready? It's like not panic button, but if they play this game, it's like obvious what is not of the light, that is not coming forward. Okay, why is this game happening for them? Oh, because they're done dragging their heels. They want their 10 of Cups happiness, and they want cycles to close out. These masculines see something, the light at the end of the tunnel for you, feminines, something that they have been witnessing you doing has been prepping them to also take those steps. So yes, people are aligned and nobody's puppeteering, but we do inspire each other. When we see the other one making the necessary steps, it does at times give us a little nudge. And so there's something here that the masculines want to hold up their end of the energetic bargain and not be left in the dust if you get ready for the love of a lifetime before them. They wouldn't want you to find somebody else to fill their shoes. What's coming up next? Okay, well, I'm giving, I don't love this energy. There does seem to be another feminine energy in this masculine's vicinity that they're giving the silent treatment to, or are taking a break from. Blonde hair could be significant. There's something here where the masculines are not listening to this particular feminine energy. That can be a lover from the past. That can be a current person that they are no longer wanting to invest. This is the Three of Swords. So this can mean, so blonde hair doesn't have to resonate, but there's something that these masculines are removing themselves from a situation. This can be a mother, sister, friend, lover, or general archetype about feminine energy that the masculines are taking a step back from, a pause from. And so that can be sort of something that's not of the light, could be stringing a couple of people along at once, no longer wanting to do that, cutting it out. Now, this isn't necessarily a game playing thing. This can come from fears, and I'm getting a very distinct message that certain masculine energies that have been really insecure may have been keeping multiple people around as a backup plan or security blanket kind of thing in the energy. These masculines are becoming strong enough not to have that kind of an out, that kind of an option. Whether they are conscious of it or not, they seem to be tapping into more prayer so that they can be more on the straight and narrow and not be so weak. There's something about weakness. Now, I'm not getting feminines that this is about sensual connections with multiple people just for pleasure's sake. This is deep, deep intimacy issues that stems from not feeling good enough for the divine feminine and keeping some options open with people who are not quite on par with the amount of work that the feminine has done. Now, that can even be belief systems. This doesn't have to be a physical person. So this can be cautionary belief systems where these masculines have told themselves they don't have to do the work to match someone like a divine feminine. They should have a more mundane connection, play it safe, anywhere that they don't feel developed enough to be with a divine feminine, masterful feminine. They may have been trying to tell themselves they should just settle for an ordinary person. They are reconsidering that and praying and asking the divine to show them how to excel, to go for this 10 of Cups. They really are, it's like putting it into passing gear is what I'm hearing there. They're speeding up their process of reconciliation within themselves. They're like looking for facts, energetic facts, deep in prayer and meditation, setting the record straight, getting their facts straight about what attributes are holy, I just heard, and which ones are more lustful or worldly is what I'm hearing. What can we see for advice? Stay in your Queen of Wands empowerment. This is the divine feminine. This is the spiritually realized, spiritually masterful feminine embodied energy. So don't dim your light, feminines. This is the suit of Wands, it's the flames, it's the light in the world. So focusing on doing the inner work, not dimming your light, don't lower your frequency. Your masculine, whether you know this or not, they are testing out, what if we were in committed relationship already? What would that look like? They are really looking at their readiness sincerely here. What can we see for how they feel in the heart space? Do you even see me that way? Okay, so they're actually taking this connection seriously is what I heard there. So even though they may have felt immense love for you, and they may have seen and heard you express immense love for them, it's really starting to sink in how extraordinary you are, Divine Feminine, and how available this connection actually is. And they're almost stunned. But at the same time, they know if they take this sincerely, that they can see themselves this way. It's almost like you see their highest potential. You see their most divine expression. I just saw 1111. And they have an awareness of this core aspect of themselves, this part of themselves that has been in, I'm hearing, in communion with the divine all of their lives, that divine essence in them that they have not necessarily been showing people lately, you know, of the light kind of stuff. So these masculines, they have done and said, they went into darkness is what I'm hearing. So they let themselves down. The light that these masculines have seen in themselves, they went undercover. The ways of the world suppressed. They took a detour. They started living in ways that were not of the light is what I'm hearing. So that's going to resonate differently. It's like prodigal energy. And because they don't show this part of themselves that often, it's caught their attention. It really has. And they are feeling a deep sense of reverence that you've spotted this. And even though you have likely tried to tell them that you see this in them, I think what I'm feeling here is that they have chalked it up to worldly attraction, physical attraction, lust. You know, it's like not being able to take a compliment, but also their conscience wasn't clear. So they were living in ways that fell short of the light that they know they have had or could have. And so they are truly here looking at becoming a better masculine because they know you see that true aspect of them, but they have not shown it to you consistently. And so they are choosing what camp to be in right now. As we saw, they are going to be making some cuts. Again, another round of cuts. They're letting go of certain archetypes, feminine energies. They're making peace with other energies. And they're like, okay, are you sure you see me this way? Because I'm starting to believe this is where we're headed. Are you sure, Divine Feminine? That's the feeling I'm getting. Okay, why are they saying this on the heart space? Yeah, because these cycles, right, there's the world, back-to-back world, but now it's in the upright because this is what they want, feminines. This is their 10 of Cups. This connection, you are their 10 of Cups, but these faulty, weakest link kind of, I heard sexcapades, other things as well, though, that have been in the energy, in the connections that are going to be coming to a close or already have or shortly are. And these masculines are like, do you really have the unconditional love it would take to know that I have changed? That everything that's happened in the past, I'm not going to recreate. I'm literally hearing a confession here where they're like, if I changed, I heard for you, and then I felt them catch themselves and say, not for you, but for me, but I really changed and wanted you. Could you actually let the past go? All of the ways that I have treated you and mistreated this connection, mistreated myself. gone against my soul, is what I heard. Could you forgive me like I'm trying to forgive myself right now? I'm trying to get right with the divine. I'm trying to cut out all this stuff that's not of the light. Are you really the one that can believe that I've done that? Can you trust me? Can you find it within yourself? It's like they're having a little bit of a tentative process here where they're like, I think I can do this. I feel myself doing it. I want this with my feminine. Am I forgivable? They're asking the divine, they're asking themselves, and they're trying to get right with that because they ultimately want you to see them that way, but they also know that's questionable. That can be questionable here. What's going to happen in the near future? Yeah. So you might feel like the telepathic energetic connection goes quiet. What I'm hearing is these masculines have to finish this repentance, this getting right with God, this inner holy of holies prayer to get their lives out of the ditch, I just heard. And they're possibly going to disconnect from you completely energetically while they do this. So you might feel them go off the radar. It's giving me the impression of when, you know, all the static, the white noise dips out sometimes and things just go dead quiet and you're like, oh, I don't hear the electrical hum or anything. It's that kind of radio silence. Not even radio silence. It's like quieter than radio silence. I feel like that's going to happen in the near future. I heard the next 3 days. So watch for that. You might not. It might happen when you're sleeping. But if you all of a sudden hear that sound cut out, these masculines are aligning. What can we see for advice for the feminines? Wow, victory. The only way this victory can come in, this is the Six of Wands, which is typically this hero coming in from the hero's journey, the battlefield, with this crown to crown their bride to be. So these masculines want to come back in this noble, gallant hero. And they want you to see them that way. They don't want to come in and have there be doubt, feminines. What can we see on the Heart of Hearts? I sometimes wonder if you care. Yeah, that's projection. So these masculines with the guilty conscience, they have to get right with God in order to come in and abolish this doubt that you care or not. Like they have to actually have a clear conscience in order to believe that you're going to care about them and to be able to trust that you actually do. Sometimes I wonder if you care, and do you ever even see me this way? This is about their guilty conscience and the final purification that is required so that they can say, take it or leave it. I am a new person. I love you. Do you believe me? Can you accept me? Can you forgive me? These masculines will not come forward to you, divine feminines, until they know they can offer you this. Why do they wonder if sometimes you still care? Yeah, because there have been false starts, because there has been this slow and steady deepening of the connection, whether it's energetically or in the physical, from the time you met. And it's been this slow build. And there have been times when this could have kicked off in karmic ways. Oh, so many karmic ways I just heard. And because it didn't, but there's still this interesting deepening regardless. This is why they wonder if you'll be able to understand, like if you will be able to actually connect in this unconditionally loving, forgiving foundation that it would require to have true love going forward here. What is going to happen in the near future? Wow, the transformation, the victory flag coming out of this transformation. So the masculines are going to be transformed. So feminines watching this, you'll know if your masculine is in this energy, because you as a high priestess will be able to discern their frequency. So don't prematurely get back into something with a player. Don't prematurely get back into something with somebody who your spidey senses are saying, This is for real, fully cooked, divine masculines that are going to be coming back from the valley of the shadow of death, the full transformation. Advice for the feminines? Yeah, the deepest subconscious, the moon here. So cat's going to be let out of the bag. There are deep awarenesses you have that are so sacred that only a divine feminine could know, to the depths of the souls. You can perceive at that level if you've done the work. If you've done the work, feminines, this is going to be one of your most accountable tests. You know, as your masculine comes back in, you're going to have to be in your mastery where you're not prematurely letting them back in or letting them in specific ways. You can let them back in, but not fully until you're sure, until you've had the experiences that you can say it hits on that deep level. So it's your bad, feminines, if you prematurely go on wishful thinking or carpet sweeping anything. If your masculine isn't fully stabilized in this energy and comes back in prematurely, it will be on you if you let them in before this level of full clearing has happened. You'll know. So don't do that, or there will be another repeat cycle. Okay, what can we see for the manifestations? I left because you told me to. Okay, so these masculines definitely are getting used to how you channel things in these connections. So you may not have even understood, because they can read your energy so astutely, that you gave them the cues that they weren't ready yet. You did or said something that was questionable enough to the masculines that they weren't the sword and the stone kind of noble yet, that they could, beyond a shadow of a doubt, know how to read you with something you said or did, and it gave them the knowing that they weren't ready yet. It wasn't something you directly did, and this isn't the kind of misunderstanding that you should be worried that you did wrong. This is something that you reflected to them, and they caved because they could not look you in the eye, is what I'm hearing. You said something that showed them they had work to do. So this is in the manifestation. Why? Yeah, because they're seeing that this is the noble hero's journey. This is being left out in the cold, and this is the destined return. This is the hope. This is the promise. So whatever this period of separation, whether that's emotionally, mentally, physically, all of the above, they knew that they were being kicked to go higher. And they want to continue the return. This is a destined process. They feel that coming back around, once they have become made ready for a connection like this is part of the destiny, why you met, why they met you. So they want to manifest, they want to hold up their destined potential here. This is on the manifestation. What is going to happen next? Wow, 10 of Cups. So they're going for gold. These masculines, look at that star, that really bright one there. You shine above. This relationship outshines any other of the options. Even the fairest in the land doesn't compare, you know, just based on popular opinion, who the most beautiful would be, let's say, or handsome. I'm hearing them say you are in another galaxy with the everything that you are. like you are perfect for them, divine feminines. And so even if, you know, everybody else in town or city would vote somebody else the fairest, you outshine them all because of the full picture is what they're trying to say. I mean, gosh, we all know masculines are notorious for going for the cutest one or whatever, right? And not necessarily the substance. Even if beautiful feminine energies, gorgeous feminine energies, if they aren't in their divine femininity, that's what I'm talking about. Not obviously, you know, divine feminine energy with feminines that know their value and know their worth, but where there's all that recklessness in games and, you know, people trying their best but not there yet. These masculines are done with that, is what I'm seeing. What's the advice for the feminines? Oh, justice. So these masculines do know that you literally are the best one for them. And so feminines, hold out for this, because you don't want to be with a masculine that doesn't wholeheartedly think you are the best feminine in the entire world for them. You don't want to settle for anything less than that. This is saying, wait for it, wait for it. This can also mean that there are legal matters playing out in your favor, because this is coming up for the feminines. So this is in your favor, feminines. So whatever you've been wanting right now, this is an auspicious sign. You're going to finalize legal matters. Whatever that means. As a side, take it if it resonates. What is the action, these masculines? I am manifesting you. Double time, I heard. Double time. Okay, why? King of Pentacles, Knight of Wands. They have so much passion. There has been an up-leveling of passion, so much so that they can't even catch up to give you this commitment just yet, because they've got to do this purification. But this burning, I just heard burning in their loins. OMG, masculines. So we're going not just good old-fashioned, but medieval on this reading. Oh, wow, masculines. Yeah. I'm seeing chainmail, like knight's armor heating up in the loins area, because these masculines are burning in their loins that much. Okay, dun, 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 dun. These masculines are manifesting you. Like, it's heating up for these masculines. They do not want to hold back anymore. They, like, once they start, they're not going to want to stop. And they know that they're holding out for this sacred commitment. True love, they're not quite there yet. So they are manifesting, right? We don't have to manifest what we already have. And these masculines are manifesting. I can't get the chainmail red glow in the loin area out of my mind. Thank you, masculines. My goodness. Near future. Oh, yeah. That's exactly the outfit I saw in my mind, only made of chainmail. These masculines want to come in and like cut you out of any kind of fear that they weren't choosing you, feminines. They really want to do that. What's the advice? Yeah, dry your teary eyes. Don't lose sleep over this. Get your beauty sleep. Stop any crying. Don't have anxiety. Just, you know, they're coming. They are manifesting you. They are on their way. Continue just, you know, aligning in your own right, feminines. Really, it might be feeling intense lately. I just heard, you know, with the planetary alignment, this is bringing unions in. Oh my goodness. What can we see for the biggest challenge? Of course, sex with you. Yeah, that there isn't this going on, right? That's the biggest challenge. Why is that the biggest challenge? Oh yeah, because it's perseverance. This is the Nine of Wands, which is the wounded healer, wounded warrior. And this is the also, it's the not quite yet. So they're picking up this life purpose, this spiritually inspired, soul-driven way of life. This is what they are going to the divine for. And they can't do this Two of Cups love and consummate the connection until they have fulfilled their karmic path and fully released it, so they can come forward to their, I just heard kingdom spouse. So their divine counterpart. What can we see in the near future? Okay, so there's something these masculines need to do first. Here's divine feminine. These masculines have to deal with, there's a snake here, and I'm getting that whatever they have had going on financially, or too many irons in the fire, it feels like they have financial obligations or debts or contracts or agreements with others that they're trying to finalize that weren't necessarily, not hearing, did I hear get rich quick scheme? There could have been something that they did that was a temptation, that they thought they were going to come out further ahead than they were, and they're having to recoup a strategy here. And this is part of the perseverance with the final karma cleanup, is that there is a karmic lesson about finances or about partnering with certain people, business, family, friends, ex-partners, current partners, something there that was more for financial or material gain, image, reputation, stereotypical, cliche. There's something there these masculines are still trying to get themselves out of, or haven't quite seen the final lesson in. As they connect more deeply with the divine to purify and be made ready for these connections, and as the passion they have for you pulls them through these final pushes, they have their sights set on this connection. They are manifesting you by having to go through this final rite of passage here, continue to close out the cycles. We've been seeing this rite of passage energy since what, November-ish? October, November. Oh, this is your divine masculine. So if this reading is resonating, this is the counterpart. You know, we have the Queen and King of Wands here, and there the king is before the king comes onto the throne. This is riding in from the karmic battle and justice here. So yeah, beautiful. So this is how your counterpart will become the King of Wands, is to go through this 10 of Wands rite of passage. The Knight of Wands is in preparation here, coming down to the finish line. So feminines, this is your King of Wands, but they have to go through this knighting into the, what is that called? Inaugural process here, to be inaugurated into the kinghood. What can we see for the solution to the challenge? Yeah, the indecision. So these masculines have to make this decision. Why? Knight of Cups is self-love, and there's that 9 of Swords like we saw for the feminines. The advice for the feminines was to dry your tears and to get out of anxiety. So masculines, as you continue loving yourself enough to not settle for any of the less than of the light ways, this is you stepping on the straight and narrow, the righteousness that will not re-engage with unrest in your soul. And you have to love yourselves enough to stay that course. What will happen in the near future? Oh, wow, I just heard "and I love you" is gonna slip. This can be to, so feminines, I just literally heard they might say "I love you" to you. They might say something a little emotional. They might say something to a friend. Something might get back to you through a friend. This is like letting it slip. This is a love offer. It feels uncharacteristic. It feels like Cupid's love arrows. Oh, we're coming up to Valentine's. This feels like something before. This, it feels fresh in the next couple of weeks, even before Valentine's, that you might, it feels like a slip. I don't know how this is going to find you, but it feels like these masculines are going to say something like they love you, divine feminine, to friends and family, to something, to somebody, and it might get back to you. It's a really interesting message. Advice for the feminines. Where you thought there was a blockage, something's gonna kind of squeak through. So if this I love you or equivalent, I'm even hearing there's nobody like my divine feminine. If it takes me months, years to win them over again, something like that, something of a dedicated message. Feels like it's going to find you, even if you've got them blocked on social media or you're not in communication right now, it still feels like it's going to find a way around obstacles to reach you, feminines. That is amazing. What can we see for near future? What you already know. I mean, this High Priestesses, this reading really is, you know, your intuition. If you're getting these messages, your intuition already kind of knew this stuff, but we're seeing it now play out, right? Why do we already know? The Fool and changes, because you've been able to see these changes occurring for the new beginning. The Fool can be a surprise energy. It's in the inverse. So this can speak of a surprise brewing, that you might be seeing these really obscure, I'm hearing events, awarenesses, confirmations, clues. There have been clues. Your masculines have been dropping clues about what's coming. And you already know, because you are so on it, feminines, that you've been seeing. It's like a treasure hunt. You've been seeing the clues. They've been dropping clues here and there, just enough so that you know you are safe. That's what I'm hearing. So it's not been in your mind that these masculines, and they haven't been leading you on. They've not asked you to stay. They have been working diligently, but they have been dropping clues here and there, some intentionally, some not, because of this surprise new life, new timeline coming in. They can't help but it get through. You're way too alert, connected to have missed them. I'm hearing there are some you haven't caught on to. There are some they haven't intentionally tried to share, but there have been dropping clues nonetheless. There's something about this infinity symbol as the eternal energy that what I got was, this is why the connection between the two of you is so strong that it permeates the 3D, the material realm, even when the masculines haven't intended, and vice versa. This is why it crosses over, because time and space are not fixed. And so if something is made of love, it is interdimensional, and it comes through any of the typical barriers or the laws of physics in the material time-space continuum. It still crosses over. And if you are of eternal sight, feminines, you're going to be picking up on these things, even if your masculine doesn't know that they are letting the fish out of the bag, out of the cup. Okay, well, and some have been intentional. Interesting. What can we see? Yeah, Queen of Swords. You may be thinking that you have this awareness. You haven't seen anything yet. The Queen of Swords in the inverse. Feminines, this is saying you have no idea how much your masculine loves you yet. And if some of those things have been creeping through the veil between the two of you without your masculine even intending it, because they've been holding back until they could be everything that you deserve, that they want to give you. If you've been seeing that stuff come through regardless, you ain't seen nothing yet, is what I'm getting there. Advice for these feminines: the world, things are coming to a finale. Look at how free and dancy that feminine is. You're being born. This looks like a birth. Like, feminines, you're being born into a whole new timeline, a whole new life, a whole new reality. You haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen anything yet. The world for the third time. These masculines are on the pulse of their inner evolution. They are on the pulse of what needs to close out. And you are about to be birthed into a whole new timeline, feminines. Ooh, okay, many blessings. Bye for now.